congratulations again. 50 goals in the season. You know, to this day, and it's always been revered as that magical mark. Ever since Rocket Richard hit it, how many years ago? And here we are even now after all these years. Even in a different century, we still look to 50 as being a magical number in the national. Great night to be on the couch and watching hockey. Tons of scores around the league. Let's take a look at what went down. The Preds took to the ice to lock up with the Senators. Nashville pads the stats on this particular night. Everybody gets in on the scoring action and the win. The Ducks took to the ice for a collision with the Penguins. Pittsburgh turns it up to another level in this one, and they pick up the win. The Bruins were hoping to fly high on the road against the Canadiens. Montreal pulverizes the opposition with a big offensive night. We got to take a quick break, but we got a lot more coming your way next. Now let's take a look at some of the rest of the action tonight in the NHL. The Wild paired up with the Canadiens. Minnesota takes this one after coming up big in the shootout. The Flames had their hands full with the Blackhawks. Calgary presents their fans with a beautiful defensive performance on the way to a shutout win. The Predators took to the road to match up with the Maple Leafs. Toronto treated almost everyone to a magical offensive display. We got to take a quick break, everybody, but we've got a lot more to get to. Stay with us. All-Star Weekend just around the corner. We are joined on the line here by one Ray Ferraro. How are you, bud?
I'm good. Enjoying the time off.
Yes, from me, right?
Yes,
kind
that
of.
too.
Here we are, All-Star game coming up, and the Calder race is really kind of heating up, including one guy that a lot of people here locally have been enjoying watching so far.
Yeah, and I think they can continue to think that there's a chance he's going to be in this final mix for the Calder. He's had a really good year, and now you're at a sample size where we have more games played than not, and he's not really slowed down at all. I think he's a legit Calder candidate.
He has certainly got a vote in my eyes based on what I've seen so far. What about some of the other races that are happening? Ferraro back to the show. How are you, sir?
All good. Busy time of the year, man.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I mean, a lot of nervous players around the league. Yeah. Lots of fun chatter for us. I want to change gears, though, and talk about the Calder race. How do you see this here for the stretch run?
Well, starting to get into a real narrow field, I think. The separation in the middle portion of the year has happened, and the youngster that plays here is right near the top of the charts. He's had an excellent year, and I think when you get down to those three final Calder nominees, he's going to be one of them.
Oh, 100%. I mean, how do you not include him in that particular list? Now, let's go back to some of these deals that we're talking about.
My fist. Gonna give. If you ever
title on the line tonight. They can clinch it with a victory. James Cybulski with you, and my little sources, my little spies down in the room telling me that the coaching staff had a good conversation with the young rookie to kind of give them a sense to say, hey, look, this is where we're at. This is the opportunity the franchise has. This is why we want you part of this team, and we want you to help be a leader and get us over the top. Let's see how the rookie responds to that challenge, and the puck drops later on tonight. We've got the call. Look, I want to bring it back to him for a second here because, look, it has been a little too long that we're having this conversation about a pointless streak. At some point, you got to contribute. And I know they've tried different things. I know he's been working on it in practice, but he is clearly snake-bitten out there. And I don't know what the answer is. You just simply got to ride it out, but it hurts the team. I mean, they look to him to contribute, and this is just not happening right now. That's got to be insanely frustrating, not just for him, but for his teammates, his coaching staff. I mean, they see it. They're seeing it right now. We're all seeing it from the stands and from the broadcast booth, for that matter. And that's one of the things that when you look at this team as a whole, busy night of action on the ice. Let's take a look at some of the finals that are in from tonight. The Blues were hoping to grab 2 points up against the Ducks. Anaheim plastered the opposition with goals, and even more goals. The Flames went toe-to-toe on the road against the Golden Knights. Vegas took the W in a close one. The Capitals battled it out against the Flyers. Philadelphia puts on a clinic to get the win. Lots more to get to on the ice. Stay with us, everybody. And hey, look, I mean, the pointless streak continues, and I know he's feeling it. You know, we talked earlier this week, and I know he's feeling it mentally. But you know what? I will say this. I like the way he's playing. And for those of you that are still critical of him, he's still creating chances. He's still performing out there. And at some point in time, as long as you can maintain that level of play, you're going to end that drought. It's going to come. You're going to get results when you are an effective player like that. He's due. Trust me. This is going to end as long as he keeps playing the way he certainly did out there. Some of the other numbers I'm looking at here in the box score. right, we'll continue the conversation here with my broadcast partner, who is probably cringing because he probably thought he was done with me a couple of weeks ago, but welcome back.
Not yet, eh?
Not yet, of course not. Hey, it's award season. I want to start with the Calder here because obviously here locally, a lot of people with skin in the game with the young man who really had a great season. What does this even mean to get to this point for him?
Well, I'm sure he's really happy with the season he's had because he's been consistent and productive. He has shown that he's an important part of his team. But to be in this part of the race at this time of the year, man, you got to be jacked. You got a one in just a few chance to win, and for me, it was no question that he would be among my finalists.
Yeah, he's certainly been impressive. I mean, obviously I'm biased. He's got my vote. Okay, so let's look at some of the other ones that are going on. Was there any volatility in the standings across the NHL tonight? Well, let's take a look at some of the final scores to find out. The Sharks look to run roughshod over the Ducks. Anaheim turns it up when they needed to in the extra frame and skate away with the win. The Wild played on the road against the Capitals. Washington posts a shutout in a clinical performance defensively. We are as cool as ice, and we are bringing you many more stories from the NHL. We're doing it next. Hey, can we just say congratulations to the youngster who just hit his 60th career goal already in the NHL. That's right, 60 goals. So good, so soon. Well done, young man, because I think the sky is the absolute freaking limit for this guy when you've already hit 60 so soon in your career. Well done. A couple of other milestones to keep an eye on, a couple of veterans. I'll tell you what, as we get to the stretch drive of this NHL season, the one race I am so fascinated, beyond the playoff races, of course, is the individual race right now for the Rocket Richard Trophy. And the fact that you got a rookie right there in the mix. How good is this kid? I mean, he's scored some absolute dynamite goals. All sorts of beautiful grapes, nice and tasty ones, lighting the lamp all season long. And when it's all said and done with, he might be walking away with the Rocket Richard Trophy as the league's best goal scorer. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if I want to bet against him based on what I have seen so far this season. All right, when you look at some of the other races for some of the other hardware that's out there. Time to take a look at what happened around the league as we check in on some of the scores. The Predators were on the road to take on the Penguins. Pittsburgh triumphed easily in this one. The Blues were hoping to take a bite out of the Rangers. St. Louis pops in the OT winner and skate off with a 2-point victory. The Wild paired up with the Golden Knights. Vegas takes this one in a fun one. Don't even think about touching that dial or touching that button. We've got plenty more on the ice, and that's next. Continuing our conversation with Ray Ferraro for just a couple more minutes here. You get a vote for the Calder, right?
Yes, I do. Yep.
And where are you leaning, can I ask?
I think there's 2 or 3 guys now that I've narrowed my sights on, and
okay.
The rookie here is one of them. I've just been so impressed with the way that he's been able to perform. He's an electric